With your past, you can turn your pain into purpose. Our past can actually be a reference point in order to motivate us in the future, but it can also be a demotivator actually also in our future, in our present day. No matter what happened in your past, no matter what is going to happen or what is going to happen tomorrow, today, next tomorrow, you have the ability to turn your pains into purpose. He said, forget your past. Forgetting Your Past is a book written by Bob Gass. Bob Gass is one from the co-authors of the Christian devotional book titled The Word for Today. He wrote this book, Forgetting Your Past, because he has seen over time what effect that the past have had over people. And he said, turn your pain into purpose. With your past, you can turn your pain into purpose. No matter what happened in your past, no matter what is going to happen or what is going to happen tomorrow, today, next tomorrow, you have the ability to turn your pains into purpose. He said, forget your past. Put your past behind you. The past is past. I write on this book, he takes us through a journey of things that we need to get in tune, we get in line with, of what to do in order to forget our past, in order to keep the past in the past. Right there, our past can actually be a reference point in order to motivate us in the future. But it can also be a demotivator actually also in our future, in our present day. But he's focusing on us actually debunking, or in other words, neglecting the negative vibes that the past brings to us. You need to forget the past. Right on this book, he showed us categories of people who do not want to forget the past. As he said, are those who cannot forget what God has forgotten. What God has forgotten, they cannot forget it. And he said in this book, he said, nothing insults the cross more than that kind of thinking. What God has forgiven, we need to also forget. What God has forgotten, we also need to forget, because the cross actually did quite a lot of forgiving for us. We need to forgive that past, that issues, those things that must have kept us back then in the past. We need to forgive it and we need to let it go, because these are the things that what the cross did for us. The cross, which is where Jesus went to die and nail all the sins and all the misbehaviors or all the insult or all the bad past to. That's exactly what the cross had done for. And nothing insults the cross more than that kind of thinking, not wanting to forgive what God has forgiven. So the next category of people who cannot forget their past are those who cannot forget what someone else has done to them. Those who cannot forget what someone else has done to them. People have wronged you, you need to actually forgive them. And he wrote right here, he says, have you ever noticed that God does not whitewash his heroes? Because he does not whitewash his heroes is because he has forgotten their past. He has forgotten their misdeed. You need to forget people's misdeed for you. You need to forget what wrong people has done to you. You need to forget the past. You need to forget it and move on. And because God doesn't whitewash his heroes, most of them actually wronged God or misbehaved in the past. God still worked with them still in the present. So you need to also know that though because people misbehaved or because people didn't treat you right, mistreated you in the past, you won't want to work with them in the future. It's not an opportunity for you not to work with them in the future. If you can actually forgive, you can forgive them and actually move on. You need to try as much as possible to forget what those or others has done to them. The next and the third category of people he shared with us of those who cannot forget is those who cannot forget what they have done to others. Those who cannot forget what they have done to others. They have wronged others, they've mishandled others, they have actually cheated on others, they have betrayed others. He said, nothing is heavier than bitterness. If they have forgiven you, you need to forgive yourself. You need to move on. You need to leave the past behind. You need to move on. No one is above mistakes and no one is above misbehavior. People will always prepare their minds towards you misbehavior and they will forgive you in advance. And because they are forgiving you, you also need to forgive yourself for what they have done to you. And he said, all right, on this book, nothing is heavier than bitterness. So if you are bitter over yourself, over what you've done to someone, and the person has actually forgiven you, you are just mishandling yourself over nothing, because the same person that you are feeling so bad that you did something wrong for has forgiven you, and you need to move on. And he shows us right on this book the ladder we all need to climb in order to deal with the past, the ladder we need to climb, and that these ladders, as their steps are included, we need to follow these steps that will help us in order to deal with the past, in order to keep the past in its rightful place. And the first thing he showed us right on this book, he said, start again. Start again. And here is something that you need to know. For every past bad record, you need a better present record in order to undo it. You need a present record in order to outwit it. You need a present record in order to outshine it. You need a present better record to outshine your past bad record. So start again is a way to undo whatever has already been done. And if you can start again in that relationship, you will get better, you will perform better, you will approach life much better, you will relate with people much better, you will do it better than the way you did it in the past. And that's one thing about mistakes. And if you watch my last video, Better Than God, you would know that one thing mistake does is that it makes us to actually be more equipped whenever we are taking up the next task. And we need to know that starting again is prerequisite for us to in order to forget our past. The past came because there was something that was done and it didn't really go well with us, and we are using the present, the future, in order to undo it, to rewrite the records or rewrite the history. And that's what he shows us as one of the steps on the ladder that we need to use in order to deal with the past. So the next ladder here he shows us on how to deal with the past, he said, is press on. Press on. The scripture tells us that I press on to the mark of my higher calling. You need to press on. Press on to make a difference. Press on to write the history. The ability you thought to actually press on in order to make a difference, in order to make changes, is one thing that you need to know that will be able to undo the past, that will be able to make you to forget the past. Press on. No matter what happens, no matter what comes your way, you keep pressing on like your whole life depends on it. And the next step on the ladder that we need to take in order to deal with the past, he shows us, Bob Gass said, it is take control of your life. You need to take control. Don't let someone else take control. Don't let the demons take control. Don't let the devils take control. Don't let the enemies take control. Don't let your controllers take control. Take control yourself of your life. Take control. If you can take control, you will be able to forget the past and be able to make intentional changes in your present day in order to get better report, get better result, and able to rewrite your past in order for you to forget your past. So take control of your life. If you watch my video on breaking controlling powers, you would know that this is something you need to do for yourself. Take control of your life in order to actually take control of the present, in order to get better results that will outwit the past. And the next little step on the ladder that Bob Gass shows us right on this book, he said, it is develop the right attitude towards yourself. Develop the right attitude towards yourself. Treat yourself the right way. Treat yourself, approach yourself the right way. Speak to yourself. Give yourself the positive, inspire yourself. You need to develop the right attitude towards yourself. If you don't develop the right attitude towards yourself, your neighbor won't be able to do that, because they are actually watching you to know how you treat yourself in order for them to know how they would treat you. So develop the right attitude towards yourself. Don't put yourself away. Don't belong to the category of people that will never forgive themselves because of the past. Be among the category of people that will forgive themselves. They know that they've wronged and they've made corrections, and they know that they have forgiven them. They need to forgive themselves. You need to develop the right attitude towards yourself. Make yourself be on the right track. If there's any other person that needs to speak well of himself, it should be you to yourself. And the next step on this ladder towards dealing with the past, Bob Gass shows us right on this book. He said, rejoice in who you are. Rejoice in who you are, because what you have is something that others don't have. Everybody is unique in their own way. The scripture tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are peculiar. We are unique in our own way. That's how God has made us. And that's why there's no fingerprint that's the same or alike anywhere in the entire world. You need to actually rejoice in who you are, your makeup, your status, wherever you are, the person you are becoming, the person you're going to become, the person you are presently. Rejoice in who you are. The next step in the ladder that Bob Gass shows us right on this book on how to deal with the past, he said that just be yourself. You don't have to be anybody. You're unique. You are the same. You're just special the way you are. Just be yourself. You don't have to be like any other person. You don't have to fake to be someone else. Just be yourself, because the way you are is better than the way you would want yourself to be like. So be yourself. Just be yourself. That's one way to actually just be able to tackle the past, because I know maybe in the past you must have actually tried to be someone else and you have got it all wrong. You must have hurt people just by being others, just by being someone else. You must have hurt people. You must have just stepped on people's toes and they wouldn't want to forgive you. But right here in the present, just be yourself. Be who God has made you to be. Have the temperament you need yourself to have the best of it. Just be yourself, unique, so that they will know that this is who you are any day, anytime.